But let's talk about violence of another type. Dog attacks resulting in injuries across the UK have increased since 2020 by the no small figure of 80%. They've gone up by 80%, dog attacks resulting in injuries across the UK since 2020. Police recorded offences of out-of-control dog attacks causing injury have risen from 16,040 in 2020 to 29,400 last year. That's an 83% increase. Well, let's talk about this with Hannah Molloy. Hannah is a dog behaviourist and senior consultant for dog behaviour for the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Dog Welfare and joins us on the line now. Hello, Hannah.
Hello, Nick.
83% is a massive increase since 2020. Why has it gone up so much, do you think?
Gosh, it's crazy, isn't it? And I have to say at this point, these statistics are particularly shocking because before now we've had mostly dog bite data from hospitals. So a lot of the previous statistics were looking at hospital admissions for dog bites, which are obviously very serious. But these statistics are even higher when we look at, police incidents of dogs hurting people, and there can be a range of ways that they could be doing that. And I think the thing for me as a behaviourist is even this is just the tip of the iceberg. I see so many clients whose dogs are biting them, and these never get reported to the police, and often they don't seek medical care because there's sort of like a shame shroud over your dog biting you. So I know that the statistics are even worse than we are seeing in the news. And it is super sad. But why is it happening? Oh my gosh, loads of reasons. And annoyingly, they're not simple. I know the government wanted to just say, right, let's just blame this one breed. Let's go on a witch hunt and blame this particular breed of dog for all of the danger. But that was a really dangerous thing for us to do because I think there's so many more reasons why dogs bite people than they were just born into a thick-headed body,
Yes, that's the one of the identifying marks of the banned breeds, and the law is very specific, isn't it? Pit bulls, tosers, XL bullies, and a few others. How hard is it to identify those particular dogs?
Such a good question. The first thing to say as well is all of those dogs are pretty much dog fighting dogs. So they're dogs who've been bred to fight other dogs. I wouldn't say necessarily that's true of the XL bully because they were slightly more of like a show breed. The XL bully isn't even a breed, by the way. It's a type. So the breed is American Bulldog and the XL is just a large American Bulldog. So they haven't banned a breed. They've banned a particular size of a breed of dog that hadn't even been recognised in the UK at the time when the ban came in. So recognising and identifying breeds is super hard for most professionals and for the police. It takes up an inordinately large amount of time. And we know because the figures show and have shown us since the Dangerous Dog Law came in 1991, looking at a dog is not a good indicator of its behaviour and what it's likely to do next. So it's just a frustrating waste of time. And there are now 50,000 dogs who are XL bullies that have been, exempted and walking around on muzzles and lead-only orders that are not living their best lives just because of the body they were born into. And we need to do so much more than this to actually safeguard the public, in my opinion.
Right. So you're not coming at this from the point of safeguarding the animals. It's about the public.
Oh gosh, it's both, isn't it? I love dogs, but as a behaviourist, my job is to walk into people's homes and be the middle ground between what is best for those people and what is best for that dog. And sometimes we have to make difficult welfare decisions on everybody's behalf. Sometimes I've had clients who are like, no, I definitely want to keep this dog even though it keeps biting me and all my family. And I have to say, oh, is this a good idea? I think it's probably safer for you to not have this dog in your life. And vice versa. Sometimes people are quick to get rid of a dog who I think with a little bit of training or might just not have had the time put in. And I think, maybe we could try a little harder before we just decide to give up on this one. But nonetheless, no matter what the problem is, we're really not reading dogs well as the public. We're not learning about dogs. We don't understand a lot of their drivers. We're breeding dogs for profit. I mean, when I was younger, I bought my first dog. I think he was £120 when I was about 12. It was a while ago, a couple of decades ago. And now the prices of puppies are just absolutely crazy. So you can make a lot of money breeding dogs, and people are doing that without really thinking about it. So there's so much that we can be doing to shore up breeding regulations, making sure that we're educating people about dogs, about how they communicate, about different breed drivers and what their needs are that need meeting day to day. And add to that, we're in a generation now that are addicted to smartphones. We're just constantly on technology, aren't we? Our attention is really hard for even our kids to get, let alone our dogs. So it's definitely something that we need to be looking at, because our dogs are crying out for attention with this kind of behaviour.
Yes, I mean, everything that you've described sounds bizarre to me. We're talking about people being trained to treat their dogs in a way that is best for them to prevent that dog from attacking and or killing them. If we were being introduced to dogs for the very first time, they'd be banned entirely, wouldn't they? If a drug attacked and injured 30,000 people a year, it would certainly be banned.
It does seem crazy, doesn't it? And you know what? I would say cats can often be more aggressive than most dogs. We just get used to it. We're like, that's fine. The cat can scratch me, and you know, you think, well, a cat's not going to kill you.
A cat
that's
can't
it.
kill you.
I know,
exactly.
I know. But you know what? We've lived with dogs for 20,000 years, so we are doing something wrong right now. You know, we haven't been being killed by dogs at this rate before. So we are the problem. You know, as much as I know we can breed scary dogs, I've said it before, we definitely need some dangerous dogs legislation there, because you can easily take two dogs who are people aggressive and breed them together and make an even more people aggressive dog. That is original Baylor Fox's experiment. They did that. We know that temperament is breedable. So I think we need much better laws around the dogs that are chosen to be bred together. And I also think we probably do need to seriously question whether or not we want dogs who are dog aggressive, because for loads of these fights and bites and dangerous incidents, many of these dogs are attacking people because they're trying to protect their own dogs, and the people get in the way. And this is, I think, a quiet issue that isn't really being addressed anywhere, is that, you know, do we want to live in a future where we have dogs that look at other dogs and go, I want to fight you and I want to bite your head off? As I think ideally we can breed that out of dogs. That isn't something that we need to maintain, is dogs that are aggressive towards other dogs. So that's an interesting one. But aside from that, we also massively need data collection systems. I think a licensing system would be really handy to hold people to account, and to have better traceability of where did this dog come from, who bred it, who trained it, who's been looking after it ever since. And I think that kind of data system is really going to help us to kind of enforce a lot better as well when people are being irresponsible and maybe not managing their dogs so well in public.
But it's like a gun, though, isn't it? I mean, some guns are traceable because they have numbers or whatever it is that are stamped into them. But criminals will take the stamp off. Criminals won't buy a gun from a registered outlet, and criminals won't buy a dog from a registered outlet either. It's those are the people that are the problem. So criminals and, for want of a better word, stupid people. Stupid people get dogs that are a danger, and then they parade them around on a thin lead thinking that they have them under control. But they absolutely don't.
No, it's pure arrogance and ego. It's really scary. And I absolutely agree with you. I think, you know, dogs, we need a license to drive a car. I think you need a license to be able to handle a dog and understand that any dog can bite, any dog can do serious injury. Any dog could kill somebody who's vulnerable or a baby, really, if they bit them in the wrong place. And that's the thing to remember. That doesn't mean that every dog wants to, right?
But
that's
every
really
dog,
key.
Every dog can, though. Every dog, all dogs, in effect, are dangerous. All of them.
Potentially, yeah, of course they are. You know, all, yes, that's true. I mean, but not all dogs are born dangerous. They're not waking up in the morning being like, I'm going to hurt people. Dogs are amazing. Like, they can smell cancer. They help our blind people. Like, they find people in bomb sites. Like, dogs have literally been our servants and supports for 20,000 years. And recently, we have not been stewarding them well.
Well, the thing that's happened, sorry to interrupt, but the thing that's happened recently, if we've been living with dogs for 20,000 years, well, we used to live in caves and we used to live in huts in the middle of nowhere. We did not used to live in tower blocks of flats. No. That's the problem, isn't it? It's dogs in urban areas.
Yeah, we really aren't giving dogs the environments they need to thrive. And again, I think a lot of this is about education and going, have I got the time? Have I got the capacity? This very incredibly, driven dog. So many people have got Malinois right now and they're not pets really at all. And it's just because they're exciting and they see them on social media. And Malinois do wake up in the morning going, I want to bite stuff. Like, I was born to bite stuff. It's what gives me joy. They are Belgian police dogs and that's what they want to do. And so we really do need to be mindful and thoughtful about the kinds of dogs we choose to introduce to our houses and our families and take some more responsibility for when things do go so horribly, accidentally wrong. It's a huge issue and it's a multifaceted issue. But it's not the dogs that are the problem. We are completely in charge of all of the aspects of their life, the dogs we choose to keep, the dogs we choose to breed, the places we keep them, how much we do or don't learn about them, how much we do or don't prepare. That is entirely on us, you know?
Yes, but you can't trust people and you can't trust dogs. So wouldn't the best outcome be, instead of just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best, to ban all dogs in urban areas? Why do we need a dog in an urban area? Why should the rest of us have to put up with the constant barking, the dog poop left all over, the fear of attack and death, just so that some people can feel better about themselves by having something that gives them unconditional love and attention, no matter how badly they treat it?
Yeah, I understand, Nick, and you're clearly not a dog owner, and that's fair. And you know what? And I get it. I don't think anyone should have to live in places with parks that are covered in dog poo. I don't think anyone should have to walk their kid through a park and be worried about that dog who's off lead and whether or not that person has done some good recall. I would really love to see a future where dog owners, and this is a wake up call for all dog owners, because if this does keep happening, that is the way that it'll go, is that we'll have to have more and more stringent restrictions put on dog owners. So we all need to shape up and decide to be better and demonstrate better control over our dogs in public, not by using punitive methods and getting really shouty and yanky, but by understanding dogs, understanding their drivers, walking them in appropriate places, because that is a future that I would hate to see, honestly, Nick. Dogs lower your blood pressure. Like, there's so many studies to show that being around pets can really dramatically improve people's health and well-being. But I hear you. Nobody should be in fear.
Until the point that dog attacks them. I mean, it does seem like just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best, ignoring all of the evidence that is piling up. 80% increase since 2020, 30,000 attacks last year. I mean, by your own admission, that is the tip of the iceberg, because these are the ones that are reported to the police. It seems insane that we're putting up with this. Why should the rest?
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of stress.
Why should the rest of us put up with that?
Because we've had dogs with us for a really, really long time.
Yeah, but we don't live like we used to.
Well, I think some people still do. Some people have got a lot of space and a lot of time. I would hate to see dog ownership gentrified. I think that is awful. Everybody should have the right to, if they can afford to and show and demonstrate that they can care for that animal well, access a dog. You know, I think some people have had really long arguments about this, and it's one of those things, like, not everybody has the capacity to own a horse, right? You can't keep a horse in your house. It's not going to work.
Or a lion.
But lions are different. They're not domesticated. Dogs are amazing domesticated species, and I hear you, Nick, and I think it's a really good warning, and something that I'm going to take into Parliament and be like, listen, Nick is going to make this happen if we don't buck up, ASAP, because we can't go on like this. It's just crazy. Also, just as a last point, I will say, Nick, is that what we're looking at is the fallout of lockdown. Also, right? So most of my clients' dogs that are like 5 years old now are puppy farm puppies that have had they were born to be broken. Like, if you don't put a puppy in an environment that is stimulating to it, that it can see things, respond well, bounce back from stress, you will teach that dog, like, it will it will go on in life to be barky and aggressive and reactive and nervous. And that is just that dog for the rest of your life. It will have learning difficulties. And that is what I'm seeing a lot of. So I do think that the data that we're looking at now is not representative of the rest of human history. We're in a weird time, and we will be for the next 5 years, because these dogs will, mostly in the next 10 years, that'll be that generation. So what we need to do right now is breed better dogs and be really, really important. Like, look very carefully at conformation and health and behaviour. Make sure that we're breeding for temperament, human sociability, dog sociability. I think those two need to be top, and physical conformation. So stop breeding dogs that can't breathe or don't have tails or have loads of skin folds that make them uncomfortable, or ridiculous coats that mat at the base. We need to stop doing that. And then improve our general education about dogs. People just walk straight up to dogs and pat them in the face. Children will hug dogs and then video it and put it on social media and then go, what happens if I bark in my dog's face? All of these things need to stop to give dogs a fair chance to become part of our community again, you know?
Okay, good talking to you, Hannah. Thanks so much for that. That's Hannah Molloy, dog behaviourist and senior consultant for dog behaviour for the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Dog Welfare.